Hey, this is Politics with Lar, and I got a good one for you today. There is so much going on around the world. All this political jockeying, this country and this country are starting to come together to form bonds because the war or the ringing of war is starting to ring louder and louder. I'm going to present some articles that only are going to prove what I'm saying, even to the point that blew me away that Angolese soldiers are doing Russian drills. That blew me away. And I'm going to add a video showing that I haven't seen anything here. There's a lot of, in my opinion, the U.S. is not allowing information from the outside to come into where we can hear about it. And our news stations are keeping this silent and keeping it from us. I don't know why, but we should be aware of what's going on. However, what made me take a look was when there was a general, I believe, of the Air Force who spoke about the commissary, how they were going to give more money to military families and to reduce the prices of the commissary to where people can afford it. Now, which made me think, why? Military people have been struggling to the point to where they can't even get care, medical help. They can't even get mental health help. But now you're going to give money. Okay, great. At least you make a step in the right direction. But as he said that got me thinking, what is this really about? Here, just take a listen. This article right here from Al Jazeera speaks volumes. A Russian military drill with China, India, all you need to know. 2022 drills launched with participation from forces from China, India, Syria, and several other countries. Russia has launched a 2-week war game involving forces from China and other nations in a show of growing defense cooperation between Moscow and Beijing. This is very.
It was a deliberate show of military might. This multinational exercise took place over 4 days on a sandy, windswept range near Russia's border with Kazakhstan. The military was keen for people to see it, bringing journalists, including from the CBC, 1,500 kilometers to this remote stretch of the Russian steppe.
We show a sniper rifle, special sniper rifle, machine gun,
interesting. Vostok 2022, the drills that started on Thursday came amid of Russia's all-out war on a country that will not be named that started on February 24th, and while both Russia and China faces tension with the United States. Headline Global News. Now, there's a lot going on over there. Russia military drills, and it is so much so that over in Angola, you have Angolanese soldiers that are doing Russian drills. It's really something. Now this comes from the headlines in global news. Now the Russian military drills on video shake up NATO as Putin beats the war drum on the country that will not be named border. Now, beats a war of Eastern Europe as Russia troops in a military commanded by Russia, President Vladimir Putin, over the weekend put pressure on the European Union and NATO. And I find that quite interesting because Putin has been trying to get NATO, he's been trying to become a part of NATO for years, but NATO was like, no, no, you're the Soviet Union. And I did a previous video on that. So there's a lot going on that in my belief that was manipulated to get to where we are right now in the world. Now the troops of the on the country that will not be named are getting crowded by the Kremlin pushes for its concessions, and alternative of a shooting war might be on the horizon. And you have to stop and think. Now that Russia has gone into the country that will not be named, and they're fighting, would one say that this is, they haven't scratched the surface? Now, if you look, this is what today's news. So this came out today, and they're saying that they're getting ready to do something. Whoa, okay. So sticks to his guns are not depleting in resources. Instead of keeping mass of men and equipment ready to roll out at a moment's notice. The Russian military drills on video. Now, I saw one, and I'm going to show it to you. It was quite, to me, scary. But then again, I don't know much about those things to begin with. So here it says that it estimates about 104,000 soldiers have been on the tense, the country that will not be named border in the past months. The Western Alliance of the city that will not be named are worried if the forces decide to roll out and annex the other city that will not be named in that country, reported the Express UK. Let me see. Last week, Russian President Vladimir Putin issued a warning to NATO saying that Moscow will respond if any organization tries to include the city that will not be named in its dossier. Whoa, now that right there, that is big. I mean, there's a lot of posturing. You have a lot of quienes más macho going on there. You have a lot going on there. The troops were witnessed including a series of drills close to the country that will not be named's border in the state of the city that will not be named. The chilling films released by the Russian military of defense mode or mod over the weekend fuels anxiety over impending invasion. Um, yeah, when I saw it, it gave me some anxiety, and I'm not even nowhere near there. The Russian forces can be seen training, shooting down enemy targets with live fire drills with their Musata S self-propelled howitzer and anti-tank guided missiles in the clip. Now, my thing is this: what I see in the U.S. news, it looks like that what's going on, the country that will not be named, is doing very, very, very well in this altercation between Russia and the country that will not be named. I mean, there's just so much propaganda that what is true. So it goes on by saying the armored tank units were trying out their armament in large practice in case of a live encounter against NATO and the country that will not be named. They're using Buyatia or Boryatia military maneuvers came days after further footage was released depicting Russian troops practicing military drills close to the country that will not be named border in preparation for the actual armed excursion. And as ordered by President Vladimir Putin. The video of fuel anxieties over impending invasion in the country that will not be named. Here, the Chechen leader named remarked that the city that will not be named will always allow the West to have military bases, then dictate demands on Eastern European countries. He added that the Chechen president would never allow that. Now, the country that will not be named of the military training is composed of 1,200 soldiers over 250 pieces of military hardware, noted the Daily Mail. And it's a lot of this posturing of who has the bigger muscles theory. Who's this? Who's that? Markey leads calls a U.S. senator to stop sending military aid to Baku. Now, Baku is a city in the name. I'm going to try my very, very best to say this country's name, but however, not the main point, but one of the main points is where they're saying is that we thank Senator Markey and his colleagues for their principled stance against reckless shipping U.S. tax dollars to the rich oil or the oil-rich Azerbaijan. And that is a good question. Why are they sending money? And what they're saying is absolutely correct. Why are we giving them money? Now, they go on to say is even as its military invades Armenia, ethnic cleansing of Artsakh desecrates Christian holy sites. So it's getting really, really wild over there. Well, for lack of a better word. And tortures Armenian prisoners and ANCA government affair director. Now, here It says a lot right here in the first paragraph. Um, the Senator Markey, a Democrat of Massachusetts, a senator, member of the State Foreign Relations Committee, on Wednesday sent a letter co-signed by 7 of his colleagues calling for the Pentagon and the State Department to increase providing Azerbaijan and the United States security assist as it continues to attack Armenians and ethnic Armenians, reported by um, the Armenian National Committee of America. Now, this is quite interesting. Is that you have the Armenian National Committee of America, you have the United, wait a minute, you have the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America, you have these European countries that have access to Congress, or even they have, let me see, how can I say it? They have their governments, foreign governments that are attached to the U.S. government through the senators of the House of Representatives, which I find rather interesting. However, it's only in the European countries. You don't have other countries that have access like that to the U.S. government. But let me get off that soapbox right there and get back to what I was saying. So here, Senator Markey's initiative complements the work of the Foreign Relations Committee Chair Bob Mendes, a Democrat of New Jersey, who's leading legislative efforts to enforce Section 907 restrictions on the U.S. military assistance to the Azerbaijani government. And Markey's letter states that the light of the Azerbaijani's recent and repeated acts of aggression towards Armenians, the United States should cease providing any security assistance to the Azerbaijan until Armenian and Azerbaijan reach a permanent and lasting resolution that respects the will of the people of Nagorno and Karabakh. I'm sorry I messed that all up completely. I just found this quite interesting. Now that we have looked through all of this, to where now you have China and Russia coming together, Saudi Arabia, now there's fighting down below in the Caspian Sea, to where you have Azerbaijan and Armenia, they're fighting, and now Senator Markey Leakey is saying, okay, hey, we can't send money to I can't pronounce that country's name, Baku. I'll say the city, the Baku. They're not going to send the money anymore. An oil-rich country at that. They have money, but our tax dollars is sent there through the military and the military people over there. I mean, there is just so much that's going on that the American people do not know, and how they're using our money without our knowledge. No. But on everything I have presented, as far as what we have been told, that the country that will not be named, it seems like that Vladimir Putin is just getting started. I don't want to sound like a ninny or a scaredy cat, but On that note, if you like my content, please like, subscribe. Now, if you think I'm totally off base, I'm just being a scaredy cat, tell me why. If you think that I'm onto something, please let's have this conversation. Thank you so much for my subscribers, and I want to thank all of you for stopping by.